amigos! Welcome to Mosa Lenguas channel, where we help you learn languages in a fun and effective way. I'm Lisa Joy, a language tutor, and I'm super excited to have a very special guest with me today, my son Boaz. Say hi.
Hi!
So this video is a little bit different as the focus is on younger learners and how we, parents, teachers, children caretakers, and even nannies can help them to learn Spanish. You're gonna have to speak some Spanish today in front of the cameras. Are you up for this challenge?
Sí, claro que sí.
Estupendo! Stay tuned as I share with you some fantastic strategies to teach Spanish that all kids love. Oh, and if you don't speak a lot of Spanish or know Spanish at all, keep watching as I've also come up with some ideas for you. ¿Empecemos?
Sí!
Before we dive into the strategies, let's emphasize the importance of teaching Spanish to kids. Studies have shown that exposing children to a second language not only enhances their linguistic abilities, but also fosters cultural appreciation and cognitive development. The popularity of the Spanish language is increasing. It is the second mother tongue in the world in terms of numbers of speakers and the third language in global terms. Plus, it's considered a fairly easy language to learn. Boaz, do you think Spanish is an easy language?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Facilísimo.
So my first tip for you today is that you start teaching your child Spanish at a very young age, if you can. Some people worry teaching a second language to their child can slow down the language development process. I've also heard parents say that they are waiting for their child to be able to read and write before teaching them a second language. Now listen, this is a myth. It's quite the opposite. The earlier you start exposing your child to another language, the easier it will be for him or her to learn it. Scientific research confirms this and states that from birth to about 3 years old, our young learners are already ripe for receiving new information. Now, this doesn't mean you can't teach your child Spanish or another language if he's older than 3, but it might take up more time and become a little more challenging. If your little one or not so little one has passed this age, do not waste any more time and start today. Let's see how you can do this with the upcoming strategies. Let's face it, if you're responsible for a child, you're most likely to be a VBP, which stands for very busy person. I've just made this up. Let alone if you're responsible for more than one child. A common challenge for us adults when teaching our kids languages is to find time and maintain consistency, right? There's so much going on throughout our day and their day that it can feel overwhelming to take up a new challenge such as teaching them a language. As a solution, my tip is to integrate the Spanish language in your child's daily routine. This is a method called time and place. You intentionally establish daily activities and situations using the target language, in this case, Spanish. So think of something that you always do with your child. Maybe it's having breakfast, or taking him or her to school, helping him or her get dressed. Choose some of these activities and transform them into what we call a ratito de español. This is a Spanish moment. You can decide along with your child which activities of their day would then be a ratito de español, and be crystal clear about it. At home, we started having a ratito de español when I used to help you brush your teeth and get ready for bed. Do you remember that?
Yes, I was like 3-4 years old.
That's right. That would take up about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I realized we could have more and longer ratitos de español. So now we do it whenever we walk to school, whenever we go to supermarket.
Supermarket.
And recently we've also added a ratito de español at meal times. Here's a tip. Make it fun and exciting. You want to challenge your young one so they feel like it's a game. Español, ¿vale?
Sí.
When providing entertainment to your child, switch to Spanish. TV series, cartoons, try to watch a whole movie in Spanish. By immersing your child in the target language, you will help them establish the sound of Spanish in their head.
Debería venir a verlo. Quiero asegurarme de llevarte el correcto. Wow, eres muy considerado.
We're halfway through this video and we still haven't heard you speak a lot of Spanish. So let's put him to the test. Mommy's going to say something in Spanish and you're
In English.
in English and you're going to have to say it in Spanish. Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. Like and subscribe to this channel. If he says it right, you guys have to do what he says.
Suscríbete y dale me gusta.
Ah, muy bien. Now you have to like and subscribe. This one is a must, especially if you don't speak Spanish. After all, how are you supposed to teach a language you don't speak? Well, you won't be the one teaching your son or your daughter Spanish, but you will be that bridge which connects your child to Spanish speakers. Try to find out if there are communities of Spanish speakers in your area so you can provide situations for your child to use Spanish. If you're lucky, you might have family members who are Spanish speakers. This is our case. Then ask them to stick to Spanish whenever they speak to your child. If La Familia is not an option, then how about you try a Spanish-speaking babysitter? You could also consider outsourcing your child to a Spanish immersion school or program. If you, like me, interact in Spanish with your child, don't underestimate this strategy. Once I enrolled my son in a bilingual camp, English and Spanish, during the summer holidays, and I was amazed by how much Spanish my son had just picked up in a couple of weeks. I think he realized there were more people out there who spoke Spanish, and that was a great incentive. If you don't speak Spanish, once your child starts learning Spanish, show interest by asking him or her to teach you the songs they've learned and ask about any new vocabulary he's learned. What's this? ¿Qué es esto? Your kid will feel proud to see he knows something that you don't and that he can teach you something. Maybe you also pick up some Spanish on the go. Remember that we, the grown-ups, are role models to our kids. So if you expect your child to learn Spanish, ideally you should be learning it too. ¿Y este?
Gato.
¿De nuevo?
Gato.
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 Gato. Muy bien. Gato. Gatito. Miau.
Miau. Miau.
1, 2.
2, 3.
We love to play games together. Not only is it great for bonding, but also from a linguistic point of view. It's perfect for learning, reviewing vocabulary, and drilling lexical chunks in Spanish. Kids are highly stimulated with visual aids. That's why I recommend to use flashcards and other board games such as bingo, memory games, Uno. Some kids also love to move, so kinesthetics activities are a great option. Here is a list of ideas. Treasure hunt, doing artwork, such as painting, coloring, which is perfect to review colors, casual playing outdoors, creating a puppet show, or coming up with a role play. The key is to keep it engaging, interactive, and relevant to your child's interests. Again, if you don't speak Spanish, you can suggest these games and activities to whoever spends time speaking Spanish with your child. This can be the nanny, los abuelos, los primos, etc. And the last but not least strategy is to use the best app to learn languages.
¿Puedo ayudarle?
¿Puedo ayudarle?
¿Puedo ayudarle?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of giving too much screen time to my kids, but the app Mosalingua uses a system called SRS, meaning Space Repetition System, which is super practical because it means your child will not waste time and the learning is bound to be efficient. Plus, I can program the amount of time I would like my son to use the app for on a daily basis, and then check his progress with the graphic provided.
Download the Mosalingua app today.
Have your child take the level test and let him learn Spanish. Y a disfrutar mucho, ¿a que sí?
Claro que sí.
We've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about these fun and effective strategies for teaching Spanish to children. And whether you try one or all of these strategies, just get started. Don't focus on how hard it will be or how long it will take to see results. Focus on what you can do today, and the years will take care of themselves. Remember to have fun, as this is one of the main goals when learning about a new culture and language. See you next time. Hasta luego. Hope you learn the languages in a fun and effective way.
If you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Then, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Have a look around our channel for more hacks and tips. And if you're watching on another social media platform, like or follow our page. See you next time.